Okay, now we're going to look at how to conjugate a first conjugation verb in the imperfect tense. The first thing we did when doing present tense was to copy the first word of the dictionary definition, because porto is the present tense, first person singular. However, no part of the dictionary definition is imperfect tense, so we can't start by copying anything from the dictionary definition. Instead, we'll have a new first step. For the imperfect tense, our first step will be to find the stem. And the nice thing about this is that it's the same stem that we would use in the present tense. So we're going to remove the last three letters, something RE, from the infinitive, or the second principal part of the dictionary definition, and that will go into all the boxes on our chart. So here's our first conjugation verb, porto, portare, and I'll get my pen. Here's our infinitive. So if I remove the last three letters, the ARE, I get the stem port. I'm going to go ahead and put that in all the boxes. So there's step number one. I found the stem, which is the same as the stem used in the present tense, and I put it in every box. The next thing we need to do is to look at that letter that was in front of the RE in the infinitive to figure out which conjugation this verb belongs to. Because we have this A in front of our RE, that tells us that this verb is first conjugation. And that's going to be important to forming the imperfect tense correctly. The next part of step 2 is to figure out which vowel that conjugation is going to use in the imperfect tense. We did the same thing for present tense, but it's very important to notice that these are not the same vowels that we used in present tense. Okay, so the vowels we saw in present tense were slightly different. Some of them are the same, but some of them are not. For first conjugation, we're going to use the vowel A. Okay, so here we are back at porto, portare. Because it's a first conjugation verb, after my stem, I'm going to use the vowel A. That does happen to be the same vowel we saw in present tense, but that won't always be the case in other conjugations. The next step is to add the key letters that tell us, hey, this verb is imperfect tense. And those letters are BA, ba. And you may remember from class that we talked about the imperfect or incomplete sheep, which might help you remember ba. Here we are back at porto. Right after that vowel A, I'm going to add in my BA. I'm going to continue using different colors for each part so you can see how we broke the verb down. Now we just have one more step. Okay, and our last step, just like when we did present tense, is to add the personal endings, which indicate what person and number the verb has, and therefore who should be the subject. It's just important to note that they are slightly different from the present tense. Okay, when we learned the endings, we said that first person singular could be either M or O, and most of the time in present tense we saw the O, except for sum esse, which used M. Here, after the letters BA, we'll only use the ending M in the first person singular. Therefore, you should never see the verb end in the letters BAO. So no ba-os, please. So I'm going to come back in here with one final color, adding those personal endings. So we get portabam, portabas, portabat, portabamus, portabatis, and portabant. I was carrying, you were carrying, he, she, or it was carrying. And then in the plural, we were carrying, you all were carrying, and they were carrying. So that is the imperfect tense for a first conjugation verb. They will all follow this pattern.